Welcome to No Match for a Blaster, a Star Wars role-playing podcast. Episode 5, Fortifying the Bunker. I'm your host of this fully operational podcast, Ito Davis, and we're excited to have you with us today for our role-playing shenanigans. Just as a heads up, we did have some lost audio, so there will be a small jump in the story, but our narrator will catch us up. As per usual, if you like our journey so far, please consider liking and sharing us on iTunes. Also, reviews help us immensely. So, let's get into it and see what our players are getting up to this time. Punch it.
Previously on No Match for a Blaster. The moon of Hoban, covered in ruins from centuries of galactic wars, finds itself plagued with bandits as denizens flee in search of a safer life. While the Marshal and his deputized cohorts have stopped the sandstorm at every turn, they must now endure a final assault on the ruined Imperial stronghold that serves as the second home to Cassie Ceryss. But as she delves further down into the structure, and Marshal Drobash and Camiya Ceryss secure the lone entrance, darkness engulfs the forgotten command post. Soon, our heroes may find the bandits to be the least of Hoban's problems.
I know, right?
Welcome back to Star Wars and Hoban. Yay!
Too soon.
Where we left our heroes, you have just arrived back at the bunker, started to get blast doors closed, securing things. Cassie went... You were going down to the bottom before the power went out, right?
I thought I made it to the bottom, but
yeah,
also maybe not. But
no,
yes, I was going down by myself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the power to the entire facility went out. Let's say you have about 30 minutes until before you think they should arrive at the bunker. Is 30 minutes ishki?
A little ishki.
Yeah. So, Camiya and Remi are upstairs, securing blast doors, moving, like, Durasteel desks in front of things to make, like, a nice little, thing to shoot around. There's not a lot of openings. There's not really any side hatches. There's some air vents and within the rocks and stuff. And everything. So, for the most part, it's the main blast doors that people could come in if they were to try and come in. I need some Destiny dice.
2 light side.
Wow. 2 more light side.
Yeah.
So 4 light side so far.
Woo.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So that's 6 and 2? Is that correct?
6 and 1.
6 and 1.
6 and 1. So 6 light side points and 1 dark side. Cassie, you got the turbo lift that you were in, got to the bottom floor. The doors opened, you took 2 steps out, and it goes pitch black. After a moment or two, you're getting some residual, orange glow emergency lighting, but it's very, very light.
Cassie stops, reaches back into her toolkit, rummages around for a minute, pulls out a little sphere, and then kind of tosses it lightly into the air, and it goes on like a 60-watt bulb, and goes kind of over and behind her head to the side so she can see, and continues on down the corridor.
It has like a third-person shooter kind of thing?
Yeah, that would be about the right perspective. So she's not in the way of her own light, but it is not going to blind her also.
Okay, and how bright is it?
Like a 60-watt bulb, like basically a flashlight.
Oh, okay.
Bulb kind of thing. So it's not super bright, so things could still sneak up on me in an Aliens-esque sort of way. Because I don't know what you have planned, but it's bright enough that a mechanic could work by it if they were in, say, an underground facility full of old Imperial stuff and needed to fix the thing.
Camiya and Remi, you're stacking up some stuff, getting ready, and then douche, black, and then slow glow of light goes from the corridor. You also see like light, like bleeding in a little bit from cracks with on the blast door. So yeah.
I get on the I mean, first thing I would do is get on the comm, because my cousin apparently knows her way around this place. Cassie, did you do something down there?
Not yet. But don't worry, I'll get the lights back on.
Do you need help, or should we keep getting ready for the
No, I've got
for
this.
the attack?
I put the lights on in the first place, so...
Is power going out a normal thing that happens here?
Well, I had to rig a thing into another thing. It sometimes happens. I wouldn't worry about it.
All right, if you're sure. There's no way somebody else could have gotten in here, is there?
No. Because the alarms, I would have known. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Cassie shuts off her comms and then kind of says, "I'm a little worried about this," and goes on down the corridor.
Camiya takes her at her word. Continues working.
Yeah. Would she lie to you as far as you know?
Do we have space flashlights? Is that just something that was in?
I don't know. It sounded like Cassie specifically bought something.
Gear. Yeah.
Well, Cassie specifically has a toolbox, and any toolbox worth its salt at all, if
has a flashlight,
has a flashlight. Yes.
I'll tell you what. You can take out a data pad and then use crank the brightness up. And
we use the lights on our phones.
Yeah, but it's very hard to work.
You know what, guys? This could be good. I mean, if people are going to be coming in the door right there, they're going to be backlit.
So you exited the turbo lift and you're walking through this massive kind of hangar space. While you're on your comm, you felt the dry echo of your voice off of walls. Your ears popped a few times coming down the 76th floor turbo lift. And you see the glow within the ship that lays in the hangar, as well as a removed engine that sits along the side of the wall, about twice as tall as you, gutted from the other ship that laid in the hangar. It has since been pulled apart and hodgepodged together with the main ship.
Just small flavor point. I picture the other ship as sort of like half buried, like the roof is collapsed, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, she managed to. Otherwise, the rest of it's exactly as I pictured it.
Perfect.
So, but the lights are on in my ship, like somebody's in there.
Yeah, but you were using the engine core in the more working ship in your main ship is working okay. And then you gutted the other ship's engine core to power the facility.
Right. But I mean, the lights I'm seeing though is what I'm trying to. That's coming from my ship. Is that normal lights I have on, or is somebody likely in there?
Give me an easy perception.
Perception, and how difficult is this?
Easy 1.
And go with a success and 3 advantages.
Okay. Yeah, so you notice that there is some... So for the most part, it is. You tend to have like the normal track lighting kind of go on, and you can kind of see that faint glow, but you also see some dancing colors inside too, like from consoles that you're not used to. Usually you're just used to like that, off-white kind of glow that comes from the track lighting within inside the ship.
Okay. Since I got some advantages... Can I hear a person or two talking to give me an idea of how many might be in there? Or not?
You don't hear anything out of the usual.
Okay. All right, I'm going to turn my comms back on, because if I die, I want them to hear me dying. At least my death gurgle, because I care. And I'm going to go over to the core that's powering this place.
Yes.
And just take a quick look at it to see if it's just been shut off.
It's having some computer failures.
Okay, so it would take me a couple minutes to reboot it, kind of thing.
Yeah, you'll need to do a check.
I mean, is it only like a single combat turn, or would I need a long time?
It'll take a single check. It'll take you a few minutes.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm. In a few minutes, somebody could come up behind me and hurt me. So that's what I was trying to do.
I'm so paranoid.
So I'm gonna.
Come on, Claire.
You haven't
I'm gonna
seen a
put-
single ghost since you've been down here. Not to say there are ghosts.
I know. I'm gonna put my hand out and have the sphere fall back into my hand, and I'll put it back in its right pocket into the toolkit.
Okay.
And then I will creep in a almost comical Scooby-Doo like fashion towards my ship, and see if I can figure out what's going on before I go inside.
All right. You go up to the ship. So the ramp is down. You know, you left it down. You know, you walk up. The lighting on the side is, you know, has that nice comforting glow, and then everything aside from that is in red trim lighting because that's how this ship came.
As it should be. I'd be disappointed if it weren't.
It's rose. It's rose.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, happy little rose color.
Definitely not blood red or anything.
No, yeah, I wouldn't associate that with blood at all. I'm going to get up to basically that main room.
Yep.
And then I'm going to stop and kind of listen and see if I can hear anybody moving around.
Nope.
And then go, hello, who's here?
Give me that. Roll me a force die out of curiosity.
Oh, a curious force die.
Yep.
There we go. Oh,
1 dark side.
So that looks like wah bad.
So the ship has always felt kind of like echoey and cold. You haven't really gotten a chance to make it feel kind of cozy.
Yeah, I run the heaters a lot, and it just never warms up.
Yeah. Well, it actually does feel kind of warm. It almost feels like, you know, like there's a breath on the back of your neck kind of thing since you've kind of walked into the ship. You don't hear anything, but not hearing something is a little more unsettling. You know, you kind of want that satisfaction and reassurance that it's something normal that's giving you the creeps.
Okay.
But there is no response.
A smart player would have their gun out. But I feel that being said, Cassie does not. She does have her big hit me stick, and she is going to. Again, main room here. We're not going over to the cockpit yet. Going to try to hit the lights in here and get some lighting going.
You're able to go over and flip the starlight switch.
Yeah.
The star dimmer light switch. And, you know, it illuminates.
It's a dimmer.
Yeah, it's a dimmer. Yeah, because, you know, on this ship, depending on how you want to brood.
Yeah, we need good we need good mood lighting. I think
that's dimmer lighting.
That's important. If I'm having a bad day and just need to pace for a while, I don't want to do that bright lights. It really takes takes the whole feeling out.
Okay. Upstairs. You guys are piling stuff up and you've been talking about if the light difference and stuff like that. Give me a perception upstairs, combined.
Before we do that, Remi says, "Oh wait, hold on a minute," and he digs in his backpack for a second, and he's like, "I have this," and then you hear a snapping noise, and there's a greenish blue glow as he pulls out a glow rod.
Nice.
For a half a second, I'm like, "You do not have a lightsaber, sir."
Nope, I don't. I flip all the light side points, and I do have a lightsaber.
Woo! We do have 6 light side points. Can we do that?
Yeah. Do you want to give me 7 dark side points before?
No.
To get a lightsaber? Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, so there's a glow rod, and
okay, so it's not totally dark.
Kind of holds it up over his head.
Give me a moderate perception, and I was going to do a black die, but now that you have a glow stick, it's just going to be...
All right. 2 successes and a threat.
So, you notice that the light streaming through the door, you notice that they're not mag-locked, but they are kind of forcefully pushed together when power is running. Because this isn't supposed to be an actual airlock, it doesn't have a static compression. So now that the power is out with a pry bar and some serious muscle, they could just slide it open. When it does have power, it's much, 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 much harder. And the power and the motors behind the doors are actively pushing them closed.
So Remi notices this, and he notices like a little sliver of light under the door, and he kind of looks over his shoulder and he says, "Hey Imp, do you think you could go over there and keep an eye out if you see anyone?" Imp? Imp? Oh, actually, he starts looking around, and Imp is surprisingly absent.
Ooh!
Oh no!
And yeah, we can end it right there.
Cool.
But I have
right.
Well, I'm sure he'll turn up. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. He always turns up.
All right. Cassie, this door is going to be a lot easier to open if that power doesn't come back on.
Working on it. It sounds like that, a little far away and a little wary.
Perfect.
You cool, Cassie?
Yeah. Like the barn in the winter. I'm cool.
Camiya just looks over at Remi. She's not cool. You might still get him.
He's kind of still just looking around. He wasn't really paying attention to that because he's still
to the exchange. Do you need somebody to come down there with you, Cassie?
Well, unless you brought your jetpack. Did you bring your jetpack?
No. It's just the Hello Wookie backpack you got me.
I can't believe you still use that.
I thought that was
I love that so much. Cassie's like, no, yeah, you can't really. It's okay. I wouldn't worry. It's gonna be fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine down here.
So tell me what y'all are doing up there to kind of get ready.
Well, basically, we're kind of just putting stuff in the way. So basically, they'll have rough terrain to get through, but no cover, and we'll have cover.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if we
my thought.
get stuff that's not big enough to actually hide behind.
And kind of like, and make it so they can't like come in the doors and immediately spread out. You kind of like funnel them a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's like a way that we can, create more of a hallway bottleneck type thing, so that they have to go down a straight path.
This corridor you're in is kind of like the hospital hallway kind of width, so it's pretty wide, but you can definitely pile stuff up to make them kind of go over it and stuff.
Get ourselves some nice cover.
Yeah, you can do that.
Remi is also, as he's doing that, keeping an eye out for Imp to show back up.
Yeah, you hear some creaking and movement, but it kind of echoes out through the hallways, and there's a lot of rooms and other kind of stuff. And while the bottom floors where Cassie is, it's stone dead quiet, and there's nothing, you can hear your breath echo from a wall 30 yards away from you. And the upper floors, it's because it's been kind of ransacked, and sounds of movements of vermin, creaking of things falling apart, and so it's hard to pinpoint unless you want to go unless you want to split up and go look for them, which you absolutely could do if you wanted.
So we're hearing sounds like people are moving around on this level.
It just kind of the way something is on Hoban. You were familiar with different military bases, and once they were picked clean, and most of the time the doors were or windows were kind of left open, things got in, vermin crawled in, kind of all the debris and everything. Sometimes it moves and shifts and stuff like that, And because the power just kind of went off, maybe certain things are settling that usually would have power. Maybe there's some air scrubbers that have turned off, and you hear that kind of weird broken air conditioning, like clack, 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 kind of echo through the air vents and stuff like that. There's slightly creepy ambient noise.
No. I mean, I think he'd be fine just to hang out and wait for him to come back, and he wouldn't want to be off somewhere if they did get attacked. He'd want to be right there.
The time of day also, it's like mid-afternoon. It's like 3:00 in the afternoon. The thing about them going from it being very bright to it being darker will work, but not forever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, you did also mention like there's other places that people have kind of broken into the upper levels, right?
Not this one. This one was this bunker, when the Empire was here and it was up and alive, it was mostly like so there's a nice barracks area. Like one of the floors, like -2 floor, is like mostly like barracks and stuff like that. So it was more of like a bunker. It was more of like a bunker or an outpost. The bigger facilities that are closer to town that were retrofitted into, which were repurposed as like municipal buildings and stuff like that, those had, offices and extra technology and things that were bolted down. This one was more of feels like just a structure. And that's why most people just kind of left it alone once it was picked clean.
So it's not going to be one of those things where it's like we're in danger of them just coming in from a different, like from a window somewhere else or a different door or something like that.
This is where I would use a dark side point if I wanted that to be true, but I only have one, so I think no. It's just one main door for the most part. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was about to start going like, well, but what if they come in through a different way? They could just come up behind us. And I was gonna do that. So apparently, like, there's no other ways in here, right? She can confirm with.
Oh no, that's it. As far as I know,
there are places where the air scrubbers get ventilation on different places, but as far as you've noticed, they're not big enough to fit anyone bigger than a child. Okay, downstairs. You have turned the lights on. You're creeped out. Your sister bugged you about cousin bugged you about getting the power on. What do you do?
Yeah, after that little conversation, I'm moving. Well, during that conversation, I'm moving towards the cockpit and taking a look at what was turned on. Well, I mean, like looking around first to make sure nobody's going to jump out from, I don't know, under a console. Then, if it's not full of droids trying to kill me, I will go look and see what was turned on. See if, like, I remember leaving it on, if I'm just scaring myself.
So, you get up to the consoles, and for the most part, everything looks the same, except for you notice that the ship is kind of, like, not transmitting, but is, like, looking for it's not called the extranet. What's it called? The holonet?
The holonet.
Holonet. It's looking for holonet connections. Like it's reaching out, and sometimes it'll get a ping, and then it realizes that it doesn't have the right verification and comes back. You notice that it's like trying to connect outside of the bunker, and you haven't seen that happen before.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do is just shut it off, and then I'm going to look for a circuit breaker that controls the Wi-Fi, and I'm going to pull that circuit breaker.
Give me give me a moderate computers with a 1 black die. This is super odd, not antiquated, but
2 advantages. So,
okay. So you're not sure why it was doing it. I'll tell you what. You can either know why it was doing it, or you can not know and pull the circuit.
I may as well find out why. I mean, if I can logic out why it was doing it, that might help me whether or not I want to pull the circuit when I find it.
Okay. So what you're noticing is that you can check the readouts of when it started to reach out, and you notice that it was exactly when power to the facility went down. And you can kind of figure out that when the first thing you did was power the bay, right? So you obviously, and so whenever you would work on the ship, the bay would be powered up because obviously, right now the ship has power, but the bay doesn't, and so it looks like when the power went down to the bay, the ship was able to get through some barriers, some communication barriers that weren't there before. Your other advantage is that while you've been down here, you haven't had to try and use a comm out, within the base before, because you've always been down here by yourself, and a normal comm wouldn't have reached from the bunker to the homestead anyway. So
right.
It might cut off your comms if you get the power back on.
Yeah, that sounds horribly useful. Okay.
So while you can't disable it like looking for a Wi-Fi connection, you do know that if you just turn on power to the base again, it'll effectively turn off the comm or turn off the Wi-Fi access.
Well, it's looking
Starfi.
Yeah, Darkfi. It's looking for basically a home base that doesn't exist anymore in a language that's pretty different than what we use now. So it shouldn't be able to find anything, in theory. It's like using an abacus to connect to the Wi-Fi now. But at the same time, I am going to go out and try to fix that computer then. At least I know... At least
the reactor?
Yeah, at least I think I know what it is. Sorry, yes, I mean the reactor. Get power back onto the bay.
You can give me a moderate mechanics on the other engine core that would be powering the facility if you want.
2 more purples?
Yep.
Woo!
Okay.
With advantage.
You turn the power back on. Everything starts to hum and the lights start to, raise up throughout the base.
Can my advantage be that I left the music on in the ship by accident?
yeah, you can do that.
So, music comes on, so I'm rocking out a little.
What's the song?
Oh God, I don't know.
On a jet plane, don't know when. Like in that weird kind of like really cranked up, but inside of a car kind of thing off to the side, startles you a little bit.
Yeah, but it would be like leaving on a space plane.
No, it's very weird. Like shit. It's somehow like
leaving on an X-wing.
Leaving on an X-wing.
And then she's gonna go in the ship and gather a few things, and drop off a few things.
Okay. Power runs up throughout the base. Things start charging up again. You hear upstairs your ears pop for a moment because the AC unit or the air scrubbers start to turn on and the pressure kind of pushes in a little bit. There's this weird kind of clack as when the blast doors get power again. They kind of smack shut and then hold, and you hear an odd caw off into the down one of the corridors of a startled imp. You hear like imp go like kind of scared, kind of startled.
I think your imp's that way.
Yeah. Remi totally kind of turns his head towards that. How far down was it? Like, was it close? Kind of.
Let's say it was like 40 feet down the hallway, and then through a doorway.
Yeah, stay right here. I'm gonna go check that out. But I'll be right back. If you need anything, just yell or use the comms.
Okay.
So he goes to check it out.
Yeah, come on. Power came back on. What you doing?
I don't feel like Camiya has that much experience with defending bunkers against bandits. I'm not sure she knows a whole lot to do here. So are our comms... We can't talk anymore, right? Because the power's back on?
You can talk to Remi fine. And you haven't tried to do anything else, so you assume everything is fine.
Okay. But did I hear her music when...
No.
Her music button? Okay. It's a hell of a homecoming, she says, and gets no reply.
Well, Remi might reply because we're on the same.
Yeah. Wait, did you used to live here?
Not here. Remi, I've been here, like, since I was a kid. I grew up on the Ceryss farm. You really not remember me? Wow. Alright, thanks,
not.
Marshall.
I guess not. And he peeks around the door. I thought the sound came from.
You see, a big pile of debris in the middle of the room. And you see an air vent with the grating like hanging on by like one screw, and you hear rustling echoing through the air vent.
And he's like, well, I haven't been the marshal here that long. Back to Cammy as he's kind of walking through the room and kind of cautiously looking around and investigating.
You step on a piece of debris, and like this, like pretty size, like the size of a loaf of bread, star rat, runs from the debris into the hallway.
No. Ooh.
Loaf star rat.
Just
that's a Star Wars name, isn't it?
I want that to be a bad guy now.
It was Star Rat. Yeah, he's like, just a heads up, there may be some rats and things here.
Well, I mean, yeah.
You move your glow stick around. Oh no, the lights are on. You see,
lights are on. But I can still move it around.
It looks like this used to be kind of a storeroom, and that where the rat came out of from under the debris were these big, like, cardboard boxes of trooper rations. So there's a little, like, black and white stamp on the side of the box where it's a stormtrooper with his thumbs up eating a bowl of noodles.
Are they, like, freeze-dried? Or, I mean, do they go bad? Are they still good?
Are you gonna eat? How long have you been marshal here?
Probably not that long. Maybe like 5 years or so.
Because I could swear I remember you coming to our school when I was a kid for Star Dare.
I knew you were gonna do that.
That doesn't seem right at all.
Remember, kids, Star Dope is a Star Nope.
Well, those words got me through high school.
I don't know. Are there a lot of marshals around with weird lizard things? What is imp anyway? What is it?
I don't know. I'm looking now.
So, downstairs, you fix the second reactor, turn power back to the facility. Music is blaring.
She goes in, puts her toolbox down, drops off that weird cylinder that's on her belt that I've never mentioned till now. But it's been there. I think that's important for us to remember. So goes over, grabs these 3 mysterious cylinders, and then goes over to another little humming piece of equipment, grabs a couple more items, makes sure her blaster is in where it should be on her side, and grabs her stick.
Yeah.
And starts heading on up.
And I will need you to roll me another one of those delightful dice.
We don't like these delightful dice.
I mean...
But they're delightful.
Okay.
Woo! Yeah. Everything is going wonderfully.
All of a sudden you hear like a kind of screech, a high-pitched screech go through your head, and you take a knee for a second. It slowly starts to fade away, but you felt it like in the back of your teeth. That was the light side.
Yeah, what are you trying to do to me? We love random things happening.
You sense some bad juju.
Okay.
You give me a perception 4 if you want.
4?
Yeah.
Good. God, what are you trying to do to me?
But because you rolled really good on the light side, I'll give you a blue die per. So like 2 blue against 4 2 blue, 4 purple, and then whatever your perceptione is.
Ooh,
wow.
I knocked that out of the park.
Girl, you handled this.
4 successes and an advantage.
There's no hiding this from me.
Look at what those blue dice did. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. So
You do not know how to roll blank faces on dice, apparently. So the sound like tore through your head. You took a knee. You shake it off for a moment. You look around and you notice that so there's 3 walls of the hangar, and then the turbo left behind you. The two walls to the left and right have always just kind of been extra kind of access ways to this that used to be open air, but now they're not. And the one in front of you would lead farther, deeper into the base. And you notice that there is in the same kind of way that the people upstairs notice that there was a light emanating from through the crack in the wall whenever the engine wasn't powering those doors. You notice the same kind of crack of light of a different hue coming in from deeper within the base.
all I want to do is go up and see my friends again.
You can still do that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Do whatever you
Oh,
want.
that's totally not the thing I would do. She does kind of say the Force is with me, kind of quietly to herself, and starts heading towards that crack.
You walk up to the cracked blast doors. It's only open about an inch and a half, and you see lights, very, very, very bright. Looks like the walls themselves are like emitting like a very clean room, kind of bright light down the corridor. If you were to gaze, put your face nice and close to the open crack in this very old base, you might be able to see more.
This is all a terrible idea, so I'm going to try to wrench the door open further.
Yeah, go do it.
Don't.
So, try to pry it open so maybe I can get it big enough to get through there.
You try and pry it open, it doesn't move. These doors are they're about 30 feet tall, and it looks like it goes into like an anteroom before you get to base proper. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of look in and you see like very desiccated bodies strewn on the floor within the antechamber. You see one person in what looks kind of like trooper armor. You see like a skeleton with what used to be like flowing kind of clothing. You see another body that's down to its skeleton, but there's a whole bunch of gleaming mechanical parts on different parts of the body, the right eye, the hand, stuff like that. In contrast, whenever you first got down here, you saw signs of struggles within the hangar, but you never found any bodies.
She starts looking around for panels.
Mm-hmm.
To basically, she's going to try to like mechanically force the door open. Like maybe if she can figure out where like all the mechanical stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
Because there should be an emergency way to open a door, I would think. But this is, I'm thinking like a modern Earth human, not from long, long ago and far, far away. So as she does that, she kind of sets some stuff down and picks up this like old corroded droid head and says in a sort of robotic voice, "This is a bad idea, meatbag." And she looks at it and goes, "It really is." And then she just drops the head on the ground and starts trying to figure out how to open the door.
Okay, so you can either give me a hard computer or a daunting mechanic. I think it's daunting. You can either give me a 3 computer or a 4 mechanical.
I'll go with a 3 computer because that's easier.
Oh, I didn't know how your computers isn't. I know how your mechanical's really good,
No,
right?
they're the same.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah. Because I want to be able to do things. Woo, slight disadvantage, but
Yeah.
I opened the F out of that.
3 successes and a threat. So you did the computers, right?
So,
The computer thing. So you figured out that the reason the door was open enough was because for a moment the facility had power and wasn't being dampened by itself. So the reason the door was the lock got popped was because the ship talked to the base just for a moment and popped the airlock. So that's why you were able to use computers, because all you had to what you had to do was like you had to run a cord and like get the ship to communicate with the door without going through Wi-Fi. Which
that's not unsettling at all.
So you take a step, like you open the doors, you feel very happy with yourself. You take a step or two and you kick the head a little bit, and it clatters down the hallway, and you can into the little antechamber, and the sound echoes through the base a little bit. Upstairs. So
you swear? So that wasn't. So who was it that came to Stardare? If that wasn't you.
I love that you're picking up the conversation right there.
I mean, I've only been away for a couple of years. It's not that big a town.
Remy, were you the one that was in the fire safety Grimorian outfit? Is that the...
I don't think so. Just trying to look down the vent. He's kind of only halfway in the conversation. He's really more so kind of looking down this vent. He probably has his blaster out after seeing that rat, actually.
Right.
Just in case. Just in case.
Yeah, it twists and turns a little bit. You definitely see some shadows moving from inside of it. It sounds like it could either be like talons or claws, or there's some kind of hard kind of clattering within the thing. And you know what? There is just enough room in that vent that if you want to hold the glow stick in your mouth, you can totally, like, belly crawl into the vent.
No, I don't think so.
So there's like a hallway and there's a bunch of doors and stuff.
Yes.
I feel like Camiya might get bored soon.
She
might stand up and start wandering.
Remy kind of starts making his way back towards the thing.
Okay. Remember, you guys have a lot of light side destiny points, and they are not just for combat. You can make things kind of appear or narratively happen, or
What, and spend all our light side points?
Yeah.
I'll start kind of poking around. I think apparently we seem to have been happy with the way we set things up, and it's not as if Camiya knows how to set traps or anything like that. But apparently my cousin's been hanging out here a lot, and just kind of want to see what's going on in here. So I'm gonna get up and kind of wander and poke my head in one of the doors or something.
Yeah, a lot of like debris. It looks like whenever it was kind of ransacked, people kind of just some of them are offices, some of them are like those kind of rooms, and desks were just like pulled apart, turned upside down, and just kind of left. Yeah. It's a whole bunch of just mostly junk.
It's pretty much just junk.
Mostly junk, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, what you could find in here that a farmer who is throwing off the shackles of the Empire wouldn't find valuable, and at the same time what the Rebellion wouldn't find valuable, like maybe a year or two later, that's what was left over. The trooper noodle bowls were left because they are notoriously terrible.
It depends on how you fix them. You add some spices, some fresh nerf. They're okay.
What exactly is our plan right now? These guys are about to come attack us, so we decided to hang out.
The plan was for us just to we knew they were coming here, so we were going to ambush them here. Was the plan.
How many people are we about to be fighting?
You don't know.
This is a great
idea. Give me a was it tactics? Is it
there tactics?
I believe there's a tactics.
Oh, there's a warfare as a knowledge skill.
Yeah, give me that. You guys haven't one of their maps, and that's told you that they were coming here anyway. Give me that, and give me a moderate.
I have
this-
2 green.
You can combine.
I also have 2 green.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
we just
that
have
works.
2 green, that's it. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, okay, so 3 successes and 2 threats.
So you're pretty sure that, aside from the people that you knew that you guys took out, and that you've gotten reports back from the other people that they're handling, and if they send pretty much everyone else that's kind of moving in these roving bands here, you could be facing up to like 30 people.
I feel like that's also a threat.
No, that's just fact. That's just
I got it.
30 left? There's
So-
30 left?
Not 30 left in the whole organization. 30 that we're gonna like. So the map that you guys got from the previous thing showed like, all right, Earl and these 4 guys are gonna go hit this. Chuck and these 2 guys are gonna go hit this, and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, some of those people were designated to come back here to essentially like establish a new place to regroup. Doing that math in your head, you're like, it could be as many as 30 people are going to come here.
Depending on how well the other places.
Yeah, your best
did.
assumption is between like 20 and 30.
Okay, that's way more than I thought.
Is there a different thing we can do? Like, is there a way to make this place just not work out as a base for them?
Ah, interesting. To know what they would want would be a knowledge underworld.
I think I have that. Let me look.
I hope so.
Also-
I don't have any knowledges.
Maybe instead of that, or that, and we could put up a fight, and as they get in, maybe somehow collapse this place on them.
Hmm.
The only problem is we're on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
And for your 2 threats, you everybody hears the turbo lift to start moving. Oh, I guess not everybody. I guess Cassie is too far
Well,
away
us
from the
two,
turbo
right?
lift. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just assumed that Cassie's coming back. So.
Yeah, I was hoping it was Cassie.
No, it's clearly not Cassie. I'm pretty sure it's Cassie. Like, okay, yeah. I don't know. Maybe Cassie will have thoughts about this.
I try. You know what? Cassie's been here more. Remi tries and asks her to ask her over the comm. The comms. Hey, Cassie, is that possible? Do you think we could somehow collapse this place around them?
No response.
Cassie?
I guess maybe the comms aren't working that far. But I thought they were working earlier.
They were working just a few minutes ago. I mean, she had them just open. We should have been able to hear, right? If anything happened to her.
That's okay. I think that's her coming up in the lift now.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's just like start wandering over the lift because we're about to talk to Cassie and be like, "Hey, you turned your comms off."
Well, I mean, Remi, he wouldn't want to leave the entrance like with no one there.
Oh
So-
yeah, Cam's already been starting to like wander around and get bored, so I feel like she can walk over that way.
So you wait for the lift to come all the way up. It comes up.
Yeah, I find a there's like a toppled over filing cabinet or something, or like an empty planter. I'm gonna just kind of sit down for a minute, wait for it to come up.
Turbo lift comes up with a satisfying ding. Doors open, and you see kind of hunched over this very, very odd modeled protocol droid. He is a kind of deep tan beige kind of metal flat color, but you see like the dripping rust from every one of his joints kind of, dried on its outer shell. And it's kind of hunched over, knees buckled a little bit, one arm laying slack. Only one eye light is on. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a review on iTunes. If you have a comment for the show, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter at No Match Podcast. No Match for a Blaster is a podcast by Morality Plays. Star Wars, Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Destiny are made by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our theme is by Kevin McLeod, and sound effects by Tristan Lundgren, Vindis, and Akmov. And as always, I'd like to thank my amazing players, Bobby, Brandon, and Claire. It's been fantastic fun to be able to run the game and be able to put it out to more people. So thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next time in a galaxy far, far away.